once I realized I needed to stop worrying about the how or when, everything just came. Boom, 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 boom. So the more I expected travel to be cheap, the cheaper it became. I got refunds, I got unexpected money, I paid less than expected, which that's the key. Hey there, magical beings. Welcome to another episode of Magic Manifesting with Mia. This is I, your favorite spiritual manifestation coach, Mia. Spiritual meaning I use spirituality and witchcraft to help me manifest my dreams, and I can help you do that too. Using my unique approach towards spirituality and manifestation, I have manifested my ex-pack in 2 days, which you can find the free guide of it in the description below. Travel, money, celebrities, changes to my physical appearance, weight loss, and so much more. And I'm talking about every single one of them in a video form like this one. So make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any single one of those gems. But I'm also offering one-on-one coaching, personalized affirmations, personalized subliminals, personalized meditations, and even personalized spellwork and tarot readings. Everything will be linked down below. But I did manifest travel. So let's talk about how I manifested trips to Germany, Ireland, Amsterdam, Wales, and Greece. All exactly how I wanted, and ridiculously cheap. And no, I didn't get some insane job offer that suddenly made me rich. I didn't win the lottery. I literally just used my noggin. This pretty head of mine, I manifested it. Every time I wanted to travel, the opportunity presented itself in a way that I barely had to pay for anything. And today, I'm going to break it down for you. Exactly how I did it, how you can do the same, and why money is never the real issue when it comes to manifesting travel. See, growing up, I grew up in a very poor household. So I always thought that traveling was for rich people. I assumed that I need to save up for months or even years before I could even dream of going anywhere. And that belief was holding me back. I never even considered booking flights because I had the idea in my head that travel was always expensive. And, you know, migrating to the UK from Greece, going from the UK to Greece, you're always gonna go during summer. Paying 300 plus for a person. Yeah. So here's the thing about manifesting. It doesn't work if you keep blocking yourself with limiting beliefs. So I had to change the way that I saw travel. Instead of thinking, oh, this is too expensive, I can't afford this, I started thinking, this trip is already mine. The money will sort itself out. And every single time, that's exactly what happened. So let me quickly break down these trips for you, how they unfolded perfectly, just how I wanted, and always for cheap. Now, Germany was the first trip where I fully realized my manifestation power. I used to have this best friend. She lived in Germany, and I wasn't thinking about it, but one day I just decided to check the flight tickets. So I just saw 50 euros for almost 2 weeks, if I remember correctly. Booked them. Guess what? I ended up staying with my best friend. Nowhere to pay to stay. I didn't have to pay for food. I didn't have to pay for the travel going around. All I paid was 50 euros. Everything else that I paid for, like souvenirs and us going out to eat, that's a different story. But stuff that you need to stay somewhere abroad, I didn't have to. No accommodation, no food, nothing. 50 euros, back and forth. That's it. Boom, boom. Again, we used to go out every day with a train. Never had to pay for that. No. Now, some people might say, oh, that's just luck. But here's the thing, luck is just aligned energy. I had already assumed I was going to Germany. I visualized it, I felt it, I knew it was mine. And so of course reality had no choice but to reflect that. Next up, Ireland. Dream trip. It was so out of a sudden. Again, something in me told me to look for tickets. That is what inspired action means. And I've done a video of that. It's not about forcing something, it's when something comes up. Anyway, I decided to look one day. And I found for 10 days to go to Ireland in June for 30 euros. Which was already super cheap. Super fucking cheap. Now, I was looking to stay in Wicklow. And this is where it gets even crazier. Everything that I was looking for the 10 days, was about £800 to £900. And I'm like, I don't even have that. And I'm not gonna give £800 to £900 for an Airbnb. No. But I kept looking. Because I'm like, I am going to Ireland. I was visualizing all the time that I would be going to Ireland. I was visualizing that I was walking around Ireland, which will be coming up later. And by me saying I would go, I found an Airbnb for 400. Remember that number. I found the Airbnb for 400, booked it, great. When I got back from Ireland, I got the exact amount of money that I paid for the Airbnb in a tax return. So the Airbnb just paid for itself. So at this point, I was starting to really get it. I didn't need to stress about money. I didn't need to figure out the how it would happen. I just needed to trust that it would. Now, this one was a non-negotiable. There was a concert that I had to go to, which, by the way, also manifested that being on the music video of that band because they were recording it. This me, this I. So I wasn't gonna miss it. So I was like, set the intention. I'm going to Amsterdam. The trip will be perfect and it won't cost me much. Okay? What happened? I ended up staying with my best friend from Greece, which she ended up just coincidentally doing her year abroad in Amsterdam when I would be there. So no hotel or Airbnb costs. Which meant that I could cancel the Airbnb that I had booked, giving me 400 again pounds back. Stay with a best friend, nowhere to pay for to stay, nothing to eat. Everything was paid for. So yeah, basically I went to Amsterdam for free. At this point, I was barely even surprised. This was just becoming the norm. And then came Wales. This one is honestly funny because I had been doing the visualization of going to Wales for like more than a year now. And then I met my SP. And then my SP coincidentally happens to have family that lives in Wales. So right after Amsterdam, like literally, was it Tuesday that I was returning from Amsterdam Wednesday morning, I was on my way to Wales to see my SP and his family. I bought my train ticket, which, if you're in the UK, everything has delays, so which ended up getting 3/4 getting refunded to me, and my SP had already paid for the accommodation because he was there before. So I didn't have to pay for anything. So the more I expected travel to be cheap, the cheaper it became. But this one I think is the funniest. In the UK, getting a dentist or like doctor appointment is basically impossible. Like, you'd have an easier time summoning Cthulhu than getting an appointment when you actually need one. So I thought, okay, I have family in Greece. I know my way around it. I'll just go to Greece to get my dentist appointment. That's exactly what happened. I ended up going to Greece with my SP. I got the dentist appointment the next day. Traveling plus dental work was still cheaper than it was getting it done in the UK. I have a house in Greece, so I didn't have to pay for anything. And transport is literally €2. €2 for the entire day. So as a bonus, I got a whole experience, a whole traveling experience with my SP. Traveling somewhere with my SP, which has always been a dream and manifestation of mine, to be able to travel with my SP. But now you're probably wondering, okay, but how do I actually do this? Shut the fuck up and tell me how to do it. Okay, sorry, bestie. I know I talk a lot. I'm sorry. So let me break it down for you. 1. I visualized I was already there. I never visualized packing my bags or getting on a plane or seeing the ticket. I visualized already being in the place. I imagined myself walking through the streets, walking through a forest, hiking. I felt the weather on my skin, how it would be like. For example, with Ireland, I always felt it would be a good weather. It wasn't gonna be raining and windy. I picture myself laughing and having fun and making memories. Which, that's the key. Believe in your brain into believing that this is actually real. 2. I stopped worrying about money. I had an underlying belief that money spent on experiences always comes back. And every time, it did. I got refunds, I got unexpected money, I paid less than expected. If you want to call it, the universe always balanced it out. 3. I didn't stress about the how or when. This is very key. You're gonna hear me talk about that a lot. Once I realized I didn't stop worrying about the how or when, everything just came. Boom, 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 boom. I didn't sit there obsessing over flight prices. I didn't panic about the money. I just trusted that it would happen, and so it did. I didn't know when, I didn't know how. I just knew that I would go. And I did. This doesn't just work for me. It works for everyone. You don't have to wait until you're rich. You don't need to figure it all out. You just need to see yourself already there. So if you've been wanting to manifest travel but keep thinking, I can't afford it, I promise you, you can. Coming from someone who at the time that she was traveling had less than £400 in her savings. For 10 days of travel, how whether you didn't know. Trust me, you can do it. Try this, and I guarantee your next trip is already on its way. And come back in the comments and tell me all about it.